All right. We're going to do a reaction video today on Andrew Tate. If those of you who have been living under a rock, Andrew Tate was banned from Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and all the other major social media platforms. Apparently, he is too controversial and he says things that people don't like, so we have to ban him, apparently. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go through some of his most controversial comments, and I am going to give my opinion whether I think he should have been banned or not. That's basically it, whether I think it's controversial or not. The stuff that I've actually have heard him say, I don't think is very controversial. I think he's obnoxious. I think he's arrogant. I think he says what every man thinks, but is afraid to say it. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, right? His YouTube channel has when it was banned, had 4.7 million subscribers. I mean, that's saying a lot. 98% of them are probably guys. So those of you who are living under a rock for the last year or so, and you don't know who Andrew Tate is a three-time world champion kickboxer. He's now a social media icon. He is a spokesman for the manosphere, for the red pill. He's a self-made millionaire. Apparently he had webcam businesses. He has casinos. He has some other businesses, very lucrative, and he's worth about $250 million. So let's get right into it. We're going to see if what he said is very controversial, if I agree with it, if I disagree with it. I'm going to give you my opinion. We're going to go from there. So let's get started. There we go. Share sound, share clip, and share. Get rid of that. All right, let's see what Andrew Tate has to say, his most controversial comments.
You will only even acknowledge he exists if he's ignored how he feels 99% of the time before that. Because if he was sad most of the time before that, he never would have got to a place where he could attract a woman like you. The man who works in Starbucks, who's sad all the time, you won't reply to him. Neither will any other female. So for women to come along and pretend they give a about the fact that most men are basically invisible. There is not a female on the planet who's invisible today. You can be a 4, overweight, fat, you'll still go to the club and get attention. 99% of the men go to the club and nobody even fucking talks to them. If they try and talk to a girl, they get blanked and ignored and told to Most men are absolutely and utterly invisible. This is the truth about masculinity.
Okay, is he right? He is 100% right. He has never been more right. It's unbelievable. Now, if you were in my world, you're in the blue collar world, and you meet guys that are sewer workers, electricians, whatever, blah, blah, blah. They bullshit a lot. They lie a lot. They talk about all the girls they've gotten. And the truth of the matter is, most of them are overweight. Most of them are not attractive. Most of them are not charming. Most of them don't know female nature, and they don't get a lot of girls. They are not in the top 5, top 10%, even though they make great money. Most blue-collar guys make well over 6 figures. It doesn't matter. The job itself is not clout worthy. Okay. If I go to a job and say, hey, I'm a sewer worker for the DEP in New York City, I think girls give a shit. They go, oh, that's disgusting. Right. They don't care. But it's 100% true. It's happened to me. I've approached girls when I was younger in clubs, in bars, and they have completely and totally ignored me like I was invisible. In the majority of times, you are invisible. This happens to me in the gym. I talk to a guy in the gym. He's my friend for life. I have friends in the gym that barely speak fucking English. And when they see me, it's handshake, hug, pat on the back. What are you training today? Let's work out together. How you doing? How's work? Blah, 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 blah. And they have these deep accents, whether they are Eastern European or Hispanic, because I'm in the Northeast. That's primarily the immigrants, Eastern European and Hispanic. This is the God's honest truth. Put that same situation with a girl. This happened to me this week. Not going to lie. This week. I had a nice conversation with a girl, 20 minutes long. We had the same sneakers on. So I said, oh, are those sneakers comfortable? Because mine are horrible. They were the Converse, right? Classic Converse, which are not comfortable at all, actually. And she said, no, we had a really nice conversation. I walked up to her and I said, oh, you got the same sneakers on as me, blah, 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 blah. And it was a very nice conversation. And she seemed to be very pleasant. 20-minute conversation. Told her, okay, I'm going to let you go. Otherwise, I'll talk all day and you won't be able to get your workout in. So I'm going to let you go. So I let her go. Seen her every day since then. That's 3 days in a row. totally and completely ignores me or does not realize I'm next to her. Invisible. I've walked past her several times, doesn't even say hello. I don't understand that. I don't get it. I'm not looking to push up on you. I'm married. I'm not looking for you to be my girlfriend. I'm not looking to hit it. I'm married. It's just a friendly conversation, and I don't understand why you can't say, hey, John, how you doing? This has happened to me outside of the gym, where I've had conversations with somebody and I see them in a store, I see them on a bodybuilding contest, and they still completely ignore me. I don't understand the philosophy behind it. I don't get it, but that's the truth. I mean, a woman could go in Dunkin' Donuts every morning before she goes to work, or Starbucks every morning before she goes to work, and she does not know the guy's name behind the counter. Has no clue what his name is behind the counter. And she's there every morning. I go to 7-Eleven every day, every morning. The guy's name behind the counter is Phil. We shoot the shit all the time. The girls behind the counter, they still call me Joe. They think my name is Joe. But I've been Joe for 12 years. Meanwhile, I've corrected them several times and said my name is John, but they still call me Joe. But Phil's the only guy who calls me John. And Phil gives me a bottle of wine at every Christmas. Even though he's Indian, he's not even fucking Christian. Anyway, so he's 100% right about this. Let's see. Let's keep going.
Right? It's very easy for women to sit here and complain about the top 2% of men, because I've dealt with this guy, he's arrogant, blah, 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 blah. Most men don't even fucking exist. They send 10,000 DMs and never even get read, let alone replied to. So if you just sit here and say, I'll get a G, a big G, a boss, a millionaire, and let him have a day off, very nice of you. I'm sure you would. Yeah. But if a guy who wanted to have days off all the time, he never would have got important enough in the first place to attract a woman like you. And that is the reality. As a man, it's player versus player. It's ultimately competitive. And as a man, you have to outcompete the other men who are prepared to get up and do it anyway. That's how it works.
Once again, 110% right. This guy is 100% right. Girls love to compare or talk about the top 5% of men, saying that that's all men, that all men are players and all they want to do is get laid and so on and so forth. And they're talking about the top 5% of guys, the guys that own the law firm, the guys that own the gym, the mob guys that just got out of jail, the biker guys that are in bike clubs. I see it all the time. But guys like me and friends that work in the sewer and bust our ass every day, and we're in ankle deep in shit, literally ankle deep in shit every day. No, we don't get any fucking acknowledgement whatsoever. He's 100% right. And if I don't do something, or if the next person doesn't do something to distance himself from the common man, aka make a shit ton of money, then he is going to be ignored. He's going to be invisible. This is the God's honest truth. It is man versus man. I've seen guys get destroyed from divorces, just financially, spiritually, mentally destroyed. Guys in their 40s have to move back in with their mother because they don't have enough money to get a goddamn apartment because they had to leave their house with their wife and kids, and their kids they see every other weekend. I had a friend that had to actually move in with his cousin in a different state because he had nowhere to sleep, sleeping in the basement with the guy's dog because he had to leave his own house and see his kids every other weekend. I've seen people get destroyed. I've seen men get destroyed. I saw it with my own brother. I saw my own brother buy a house for his wife and his 2 kids. And because his wife decided that she wanted to get divorced, he had to leave his house and become a part-time father, see his kids every other weekend. If you don't think that destroys a man, then you're just an entitled bitch.
There's no such thing as saying, I'm sad, I need 2 weeks off. Not as a man if you want to be important.
I mean, if 12 tigers attack me and I manage to defeat 11 in unarmed combat with my Aikido and the last tiger gets my neck, that's a fine way for Tate to die.
You cheated, you cheated. It's bang out the machete, boom in her face, and then grip her up by the neck. Like, shut up, bitch! Why?
All right, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. He's just being funny, I would assume. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. I guess the only way for Andrew Tate to die is 10 tigers and him beating off 9. I have news for you. I think 1 tiger would do the job. I don't care how much Aikido or hand-to-hand combat experience you have. 1 tiger is going to do the job. You can probably try and get him in a chokehold, and they'll just rip you apart, and you're dead in seconds, and you're lunch. And as far as the other thing, I don't know what the hell he's talking about with his machete or whatever. I think he's just being over the top, obnoxious, comical for views and likes and so on and so forth. He likes to ruffle feathers. He likes to be obnoxious and over the top and so on and so forth, which is probably why he got banned. I don't think the things he said got him banned. I think the way he says it and the funny side of him trying to be funny, him trying to be controversial, because there's plenty of YouTubers that say things that he said that aren't getting banned. I mean, there's Rollo Tomasi, Fresh and Fit. I mean, JL Wisdom, Coach Red Pill. I mean, you go down the list and they're not getting banned. So I think it's mostly he was the top dog in the manosphere saying these crazy things like, shut up, bitch, boom. But I don't think what he's saying in general when he's serious is very outrageous. I think it's pretty accurate. All right, let's keep going.
Why would you suck dick for free?
Because I love doing it. What the fuck? I don't like, what the fuck? I love sucking dick. Why would
Yeah, but you have no future with these men, so why not at least get paid for it, right?
I am getting paid for it on fucking OnlyFans. I don't need them to pay me. I make way more than they could ever give me.
They get paid twice. I don't believe in.
All right. I don't know why you're trying to have a conversation with a prostitute, because that's what he's doing. She's a prostitute. I don't care if you're on OnlyFans. You're a prostitute. If you're sucking dick on OnlyFans and somebody's paying you for it, it doesn't have to be the party of dick that you're sucking. If there's a third party paying you to suck somebody else's dick, you're a goddamn prostitute. I don't care if you do it on OnlyFans. Hey, hookers out there, you didn't discover fire when you jumped on OnlyFans during the 2020 shutdown, okay? They've been prostitutes since the beginning of time. So I don't care if you suck dick on OnlyFans, on the street corner, in the back of a car, at a brothel, in a strip club. You're a goddamn prostitute. And any guy worth his salt is not going to want to have anything with a girl that has OnlyFans. And this is why. Now you could argue and go, there's girls that don't suck dick, that just, pose naked or put a bikini on. When I'm in a committed relationship, she needs to be 100% committed to me. That is my wife, and she should act respectable. When you have an OnlyFans, or even if you have an Instagram, depending on what you put on that Instagram, you have 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out the door in the relationship. Meaning, yeah, I'm with you, but the attention is so great, I want to see what else is out there. She's not 100% committed to you. Let me put it another way. If I go down my Instagram and I'm hitting like and commenting to girls posing sexy in a bikini, that's disrespectful to my wife, and she will call me out on it. If my wife puts on a bikini and poses sexy on Instagram and other men are commenting and liking those pictures because she's in a bikini, that's disrespectful to me. And that's how OnlyFans works. All right, let's see what he's going on. He's talking about depression here. Let's go.
Don't message me about depression because I don't believe in it. If you're asleep in your bed in the middle of the night and you hear a noise and you believe in ghosts, now you're afraid. But if you don't believe in ghosts, it's the wind and you go back to sleep. You give the ghosts power by believing in them. Your house is only haunted if you believe in ghosts. Belief is a powerful thing. If I were to stand in front of you and I were to tell you that I could punch you as hard as I can in your sternum, and I could fracture it and send a splinter into your heart, would you allow me to try? You wouldn't, because I believe I can. I believe I can hurt any man on the planet, and that's why people are afraid of me. And you believe depression is a crippling disease, and that's why you're afraid of it.
What would you do if I wanted?
Okay, so 2 things there. First thing is depression. If he's talking about somebody being down in the dumps, yeah, I agree with you. Get off your ass, get out of bed, go to work, go to the gym, do what you got to do. Now, is there a such thing as depression? Obviously, being down in the dumps, I don't consider being depressed. I consider that being down in the dumps. Everybody's in a rut from time to time. But there is a such thing as being clinically depressed, which is you have a chemical imbalance and your serotonin levels are low and you need medication. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't fight to get back to normal, but it does mean that depression is very real and you need medication. And I'm saying this from firsthand knowledge because I have been battling depression and anxiety since I'm 10 years old and I'm now 46. And I take 150 milligrams of Zoloft every night just to stay focused. There have been times where I've dipped and fell into depression and I've had to increase my medication to get back to normal. It happened to me very recently. So to say that there is no such thing as depression, I don't believe in it. It's 50-50. It depends on what you're talking about. Clinically depressed, chemical imbalance, very real. Being down in the dumps, hating yourself, you just need to change. So that might be the only thing I disagree with him partially on. The other thing is he's not a very modest guy, is he? I mean, talking about that he is the baddest man on the planet. It is my opinion that if you know that you are the best, now there's obviously he was one of the best kickboxers in the world at one point. There's nothing wrong with being modest. Small example. Those of you who don't know who Arsenio Hall was, he was a comic and he had a late night talk show called the Arsenio Hall Show. And he actually was on a competing network against Johnny Carson, who was the king of late night talk show. Johnny Carson ultimately won because who stays up late to watch TV? Old people, whatever. There was one episode that was fantastic. It was classic, and I'll never forget it. And this was like the mid '80s, and Arsenio Hall had Muhammad Ali on. Muhammad Ali was probably one of the greatest fist fighters ever lived. Definitely the greatest heavyweight fist fighter that ever lived. I don't think that any other heavyweight could have beaten him. He surprised Muhammad Ali with two special guests, Sugar Ray Leonard and Mike Tyson. Everybody knows who Mike Tyson is. At the time in the mid-'80s, Mike Tyson was the greatest heavyweight. He was wrecking people inside of one round. He was destroying top heavyweight contenders inside of one round. Now, Sugar Ray Leonard in the late 70s into the 80s was one of the greatest, if not the greatest, welterweight fighters, moved up to middleweight and inevitably moved up to light heavyweight. Go watch clips of Sugar Ray Leonard. One of the most devastating fist fighters you'll ever see in your life. He was absolutely amazing. The speed was unreal, unmatched. Anyway, Arsenio Hall asked Muhammad Ali, if you fought Mike Tyson in your prime and he was in his prime, who would win? Muhammad Ali said, oh, Mike Tyson would. He would hit me with one punch and I would be knocked out. Mike Tyson comes out. Arsenio Hall asks him the same question. Says, you fight Muhammad Ali in your prime and he's in his prime, who wins? And Mike Tyson said, there comes a time where every head must bow and every king must be acknowledged, something to that effect. And he said, Muhammad Ali is the greatest of all time. And they were giving each other credit because each other was the best in their time. And they respected the abilities that they both had. Another time Mike Tyson fought Larry Holmes, well over the hill. Larry Holmes was the heavyweight champion after Muhammad Ali. Does not get enough credit. Larry Holmes was a great champion. Mike Tyson fought him over the hill. Mike Tyson, of course, knocked him out. And afterwards, Mike Tyson said, I know when Larry Holmes was in prime, I wouldn't stand the chance he was one of the greatest. And this is just a fight of being modest and being cordial. And this is sportsmanship. He doesn't have that at all, but that's okay. I don't hate him for it.
To start an OnlyFans.
I don't think there's anything intrinsically wrong with women doing OnlyFans, as long as I had influence and control over it.
What do you mean? Doing a bit of photographer and get the angles, yeah?
No. I'm not doing any real work, but just like taking all the money. Huh? If my chick said, I want to do OnlyFans, I'm like, all right, then cool, go do it. How much you made? 10 grand, all right, give me 8. All right, cool.
What woman is going to give you 8 grand?
You're my woman, you're doing OnlyFans, you're selling my product. What the fuck?
Your products?
Yes,
The
correct.
woman is not
Next question.
No. I don't know if you're being serious.
I'm totally serious. How would I let my chick do OnlyFans and keep all the money? That's disrespectful.
What woman is ever going to give you that?
Then she better not do OnlyFans. Duh.
Imagine.
Well, you know my opinion on OnlyFans. I think he's kind of being calm. I don't think he would let his girlfriend. He's worth so much money. I don't think he would let his girlfriend do OnlyFans. I don't have his kind of money, not even close, and I wouldn't want my wife doing OnlyFans. So you know my opinion on that. So let's just keep going.
One day you're sitting in Paris and you're having a fucking coffee, and terrorists roll through with AKs, and the person next to you has their brains blown out. You're gonna stand there and be like, waiting to die like a motherfucker. I'm gonna be like, bang, oh, seen that before. Okay, boom, boom, duck and dive in, take one terrorist out, next get the AK, go Rambo, take out all of fucking Pakistan with a Jeep.
All right. That's just fucking ridiculous. I don't even know what to say there. If I was in the Middle East and my friend got shot in the head by a terrorist, I would be in shock and then I would fucking run if I didn't get killed right then and there anyway. I don't think you're going to act like Rambo and tackle one terrorist and grab the AK and destroy all of them. I don't think that's going to, I think this is I think he has a little bit of delusion of grandeur, if you will, but that's okay because he's cocky as fuck.
I don't think the world has ever been equal. That the modern society we live in has been built by men. Let's cut the crap. All the roads you see, all the buildings you see, everything around you, men built. All of it. When women come along and say, oh, we're just as important, you are just as important, but you had a completely different role. You fulfilled a different role in society. And I think now, if you look at the roles of society, I believe men are still doing their job, but I don't know if women are doing their job. Men are still out here building the modern world. But when they come home now, the girl's like, oh, why should I cook for you?
Would you be with me if I...
Okay. I did a video called How Important Men Are. He is so right. It's not even a debate. So I did a video called How Important Are Men? And I went through all the blue collar jobs, or the majority of blue collar jobs. And I broke down the percentage of men as opposed to women. And almost all of them were 90% men. And I mean electricians, plumbers, masons, HVAC guys, dock workers, heavy crane operators, firemen, police officers, veterans, sewer workers, iron workers. You go down the list. And men get no credit for this shit. Literally, the infrastructure would fall apart if we decided that we weren't going to go to work. Nothing would get built. Women don't want these jobs. Women want equal pay and equal opportunity at the powerful jobs. They want them in politics. They want them in business. But they don't care that 99% of bricklayers are men, and they want to be 99% of bricklayers. They don't care that the majority of violent offenders in prison are men. They don't give a shit. Men get no fucking respect, and it's getting sickening. It really is. And as far as the role that women are supposed to have, yes, he's right. Women are just as important, but they play a different part in society. And that part is lost. The part of being a mother and a wife and holding a family together and being compassionate and bearing children and being a helpmate to her husband so he can go out and provide and protect even better is gone. Now it's a goddamn game. I make more money than you, so I don't have to do that shit. If you want your marriage to work, you have to fall back into traditional roles, because if you don't, you will lose respect for each other. I don't lose respect for my wife when she cleans the house and cooks dinner for me and makes me a plate and my food is cooked and my house is clean and the bills are paid because I give her money to pay the bills and she pays the fucking bills. I don't care that she's the general in the house. I respect her for it. And she respects me for paying the bills and being a man and fixing things when they're broke and knowing that if anybody would do anything to her, I would literally kill them and I don't care about the consequences. She makes just as much money as I do. But when we are home, we know that traditional roles must be played. Otherwise, we will lose respect for each other. And if women don't understand this, then they don't understand men. And most modern women in the West don't understand this. And it's lost. It's gone. And we see that because we see majority of women filing for divorce. 50% divorce rate in this country. 70% filed by women. If they are college educated, it goes up to 90% because I don't need you. I don't need you. I could divorce you, take your house, take your kids, and you could take my money and take my house and take my kids. And there's nothing I could do with it because the law states it. And if you marry a man who's broke, if you marry a ghetto or you get pregnant from a ghetto dude who's ghetto fabulous and has no money, Well, then the government steps in and helps you. You can go welfare and food stamps and Section 8 housing. You don't need a man. And if you are middle class or better and you get pregnant without getting married, you just stay home with mommy and dad and they'll provide for you. We see this happen all the time, in and out. My wife has friends over the house. And I don't care. I like when people come over the house. I am actually very sociable. And I like when people come over the house. And when she has girlfriends over the house, they don't say hello to me. They say hello. But they don't get up and acknowledge me. They say hello from their chair. They're sitting in my dining room set. They're sitting in my kitchen. They're sitting in my house drinking my wine with my wife, sitting in my chair that I sit in when I eat dinner. And they don't get her off their ass to come over to me and say, hi, John, how you doing? And give me a kiss and a hug and acknowledge the man of the house. That is gone. And I would bet that that happens to the majority of men today.
I'd slept with over 50 men. I'm a high value woman, right?
All right. There's a difference when a woman sleeps with 50 men and a man sleeps with 50 women. I did a video on this called Why is a Man a Stud and Why is a Woman a Whore If They Sleep Around? And I'm sorry, it's a double standard, ladies. Okay, I'm going to repeat myself. If you want to go back and watch the whole thing, go right ahead. It's only like 3 or 4 videos before this one. But literally, it is. A woman doesn't have to do anything to get laid. She could literally just be present. She doesn't have to do anything. She could be a 3 or a 4. She could be not attractive. Walk into any bar and just yell out, who wants to have sex with me? And guys will line up. In order for men to get laid, or men to have women, 50 women, he's got to be charming. He's got to be charismatic. He's got to be good looking. He's got to be over 6 feet tall. He's got to have a big dick. He's got to make a lot of money. He's got to connect with her on an emotional and psychological level, on a mental level. There has to be a connection. She's got to want to have sex with you. She has to desire to have sex with you. You can't have sex with somebody against their will. That's rape. It doesn't work. Anyway, let's keep going.
How can you be high value if 50 men have helped you?
I've just been single for a long time.
Oh, unacceptable.
Why is it unacceptable?
Somewhere on this planet, there is someone who is your age, may look a bit like you, who was just given some bad fucking news. Either they were just given a cancer diagnosis and given 2 weeks to live, or the police just knocked on the door and said, your family's dead. Yeah, a cement truck ran them all over. They're splattered all over the road. My family? Yeah, all of them. I guarantee a bomb in Syria or a chemical attack in Yemen. There's someone your age who just got given some bad fucking news. And if you were to sit there and explain to them your problems, they would swap lives with you in a heartbeat. And this is what most of you motherfuckers don't understand. You're not grateful for what you have because you don't understand and don't anticipate that there's someone out there who would do anything to have what you have. I'm not even talking about me with my Lambo and my beautiful women and all my shit. I'm talking about just a normal, safe life where you can watch Tate's speech YouTube videos and no one's gonna bomb your house. There are people who would do anything to trade with you. And if you were to sit there and try and explain to them all your problems, yeah, but you don't want to, I'm depressed and I have no girlfriend and it's hard to make money and my life's hard, and you were to tell them all your stupid reasons that you don't like your life, they'd sit there and listen to them all and go, okay, yeah, no problem, let's swap. And they'd sign on the dotted line.
Some child.
All right. This guy doesn't need to be banned. This guy needs a bigger platform to speak his mind. He's 100% right. I can't believe this guy was banned for saying the truth. Okay? And this goes for men and women. You don't know what it's like. You won the lottery as far as being born in the United States. You're literally 1% of the world's population, and you won the lottery being born in the United States. You go to other countries, other third world countries, there's civil wars, there's bombings, there's killings, there's crazy crime going on that you can't do anything about. And he's a special dude because most guys that are elite, most guys that are worth the amount of money that he's worth and have connections with people that he connects to, aren't really in tune with the regular average man, and not even the average man, the third world man. Most guys in his position are not in tune with the poor or the third world country or the reality of crime and chaos in the world. This guy might be obnoxious and appalling and over the top, but he's not wrong. And he's very, very accurate. He's very, very right. We shouldn't be canceling him. This guy should have a bigger platform. He's saying nothing controversial as far as I'm concerned. The depression one, that was about it.
Child is outside enjoying their life, playing with toys and smiling in the sunshine and having fun. I hate happiness. I hate happy children. Anyway, you're all losers. We've discussed this before. I'm the king of the world.
No.
All right. He's obviously just ruffling feathers and being funny. And nobody hates happy children. And I mean, as you saw with the clip right before that, if he's so in tune with people in third world country and the average man in the United States and Western world and people in the third world country and how chaotic and how crime ridden it is and so on and so forth, then obviously he doesn't really believe that we're all losers and he's the king of the world. I mean, he is arrogant, confident, and cocky and obnoxious. And that's because he's, a self-made millionaire. He came from nothing and he's like, I did it. Why can't you do it? But I think he truly understands that he's a special dude and there are people out there that suffer every day, whether it's a guy from the States that can't get laid or whether it's a kid from Syria that is going through a civil war and is going to get his head blown off. Obviously, he's just kidding and fucking around.
You don't go to the club with your friends. I don't know what kind of bitch-ass dude is letting his chicks go to the club with her friends without him. No. You stay in the house. You don't go nowhere. You're not, no restaurants, no clubs, nothing.
Because life for a man is hard.
Okay. All right. So it's a little bit too much. I mean, look, my wife is 43 years old. She wants to go out with her friends. They go to dinner. They might go get a drink. She goes to visit her brother. We have a 3-year-old nephew. She goes and visits him. I mean, you can't tell them now. Okay. If she is going to the club with her single friends and she's out till 3-4 o'clock in the morning, that's a problem. Obviously, that's a problem. But to go to dinner or go over one of her girlfriend's house and hang out and drink wine, I don't give a shit. Go ahead, go have a good time. I don't care because I'm going to go out too. I'm going to go to the bar with a couple of friends and have some drinks. I mean, it's no big deal. All right, let's see what else he's got to say.
Harder than life for a woman. Most men live depressing lives. For most men out here, they can't even feel wanted. Their wife left them. They're invisible to women. Their kids don't talk to them. They're just not wanted. Society has huge burdens on men. We're supposed to be smart. We're supposed to be rich. We're supposed to be interesting. Gotta have jokes, gotta have chat lines, right? Gotta be charming, gotta be cool, experiences, stories. We need to have a lot of shit to be an important man. To be a woman, you need makeup. I got a message.
All right, so he's right. We've talked about this earlier on, why a man is a stud and why a woman is a whore and blah, 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 blah. And so, and he happens to be right. A man has to become, a woman just exists. All right, and that's the truth.
On Instagram, and it was from a young 17-year-old, and he said, I'll do anything. I want to be mafia like you. Can we work together? And I sat there and I said to Tristan, why does everyone think we're mafia? We're not mafia. Like, we don't run around with machine guns. I mean, obviously we have guns. Our house is full of machetes. Are we mafia? Anyway, I don't think I'm mafia. So I said to Tristan, look, we're not mafia. Tristan goes, yes, we are. And I said, why? He goes, we're two huge fighting brothers with women naked on the internet who own casinos, who drive around Bucharest, Romania in over $2 million worth of fucking supercars. Everyone's afraid of us. And if anyone did piss us off at any point, even if we didn't want to fuck them up ourselves, we can make one phone call and they'd either be in a ditch or lose their any.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right here. I'm going to go here, okay, because it's a long video. Okay, all right. Even though he sounds arrogant and obnoxious and cocky, he's right. People that are wealthy, important people, other people want to be around them, whether it's politicians, whether it's mafia, whether whoever people want to be around beautiful women, they want to be around important people. And he happens to be right. Okay. So if he's a kickboxing champion and then a self-made millionaire, people are going to want to be around him. And yes, you're going to make contacts of people that are not the nicest people and want to be near you, want to be around you, want to do business with you. And if somebody fucks with you, yeah, obviously. I mean, I've interviewed several mafia members that have come out of jail, and they've given plenty of stories like this. Happens to be very, very true. Now, I don't think Andrew Tate should have been canceled at all. I think he should have a bigger platform. He's saying the truth. He's basically screaming at the West, going, the masculinity is dying. It's dead, and it is a problem. And chaos is erupting, and it's happening around us, and everybody's walking around with blindfolders on. And he's saying, open your eyes and see what the hell is going on. Look, if I can have a child with my wife, and then my wife divorces me when the baby is 7 years old and takes my house and takes my kid, and I get to see my kid every other weekend, and then she decides that my son should be a woman because he likes to play with dolls, and starts giving him puberty blockers and sends him to a hospital to start early transition to become a woman, and I can't do anything about it because that's the law, then we are in some serious chaotic times. And if you think I'm kidding, look it up for yourself. There are many cases like this where a man is divorced and he has no say because he does not have custody of his kids, and their wives are putting them through transition to make them a woman, make their son a woman. I've seen it on YouTube, on videos. I've seen podcasts where people talk about this. It is out there. I don't think Andrew Tate should be canceled. I hope he gets back on YouTube. I hope he gets back on Instagram. He needs a bigger platform. That's what he needs. He's not saying anything that not anybody else is saying. There are plenty of guys in the manosphere that are saying it, whether it's Fresh and Fit or Rollo Tomasi or JR Wisdom or Coach Greg Adams, Coach Red Pill. I mean, I know I have a small podcast, but me, if you watch my shit, I basically agree with these guys and say exactly what they're saying. I just not obnoxious and say you are all losers and I'm a king of the world, and women, my wife needs to stay home and not go out and lock her in the house. I mean, that's over the top. He's doing that to ruffle feathers. I think that's his whole MO, is to get a reaction and say the most crazy things and become the social media icon, which he has. He's obviously very narcissistic and in love with himself. But you know what? Majority of the time, people that are that successful they're type A personalities. They believe that they are the best and everybody else is beneath them. But at the same time, this person, Andrew Tate, is very aware, very in tune with the common man and the poor. That clip that he talked about where a kid could be in Syria and he has to worry about a bomb going off and his entire family could die, and he would trade places with an average dude in the United States in a second. He's very in tune with the world. He's very worldly. And most people that are elite like him, most people that are worth the money that he's worth, aren't in tune. They don't understand our problems, or they don't understand the third world country's problems. Look, he's obnoxious and he's cocky and he's conceited, but he's special. And we don't need to ban him. We need to give him more of a platform. We need more guys like that. We need more guys like him. I'm not as good as he is. I mean, I'm over here saying it, but I'm not as good as he is. I don't have 4.7 million subscribers. I got like barely 3,000. I can only wish to have that many subscribers. I mean, my goal is 10,000 because I'm an average Joe. I'm a nobody. I just want to get on this podcast and say what I want to say, interview the interesting people that I want to interview, have a voice, and make some side money, make a second income. That's all I'm trying to do. I think we need to free Andrew Tate. All right, guys, do me a favor. If you made it to the end of this, even if you didn't make it to the end of it, just like and subscribe, man. I'm talking for the common man here. You know, I'm talking, all my stuff is for men. All my interviews are for men. Even the girls that come on my show are for men. I've interviewed porno chicks. Men love porno chicks. I've interviewed OnlyFans girls. I've interviewed girls that are elite in powerlifting, elite in bodybuilding, elite in arm wrestling. I've interviewed girls that had serious ties with the mafia. One was Joey Miami, Joanne Gallo, worked directly with Santo Trafficante. I have girls on here, but everything is targeted for men. Everything is targeted for men. So give me a like, give me a subscribe. Let me be your mouthpiece. Let me say the things that everybody else is afraid to say. Let me be your Andrew Tate. Just not as cocky, and I'm not a world champion kickboxer, but I'll do what I can. All right, guys. Peace. I'm out.